Now, listen, everybody. Have Kevin and Erin from the podcast that wouldn't die. And under normal circumstances, I do some big build up. Oh, it's a great show. Not this time. These two owe me a damn apology because on their latest episode, which I suggest you go listen to, obviously I suggest you go listen to all of them, but definitely the latest one, they made me go back and watch a movie I liked when I was 11.
That's the curse.
And then I go to watch this crap and I'm going, oh God, oh, that's right. 11-year-olds are idiots. That's right.
That's what we learn all the time on our show, man. It's like the things we loved when we were kids, we go back as adults and watch it and we're like, maybe not so much.
See, what in the blue hell was I thinking?
Exactly. Or like, I must have been mentally ill when I was 14. That's the only explanation why I thought this was the best movie ever.
I'll be honest with you. And this is no. I know now why I like the movie as an 11 or 12-year-old, whatever I was when I saw it, right. Because there were breasts in the movie. Yes. And I think that was probably one of the first movies I ever saw with breasts in it. And I didn't expect it because it was a Chuck Norris movie. I just thought maybe he'd back in the 70s and 80s, you'd kiss the girl and the music would come up and then camera would fade away. And I remember sitting in the movie theater going, hey, ooh. Them things are out. What the hell is this? This is the greatest movie of all time. And right. Yeah, as a 52-year-old man who've actually.
Oh my God, are you talking about Silent Rage? Is that what you're referencing?
You're damn right. Oh, I keep forgetting. I sent the link to Kevin. I forgot. I just followed Erin. I just followed you. I would have sent the link to you. I didn't know it was a separate account. And I said, I just have, because I listened to the latest episode of your podcast. I'm like, let me check out Silent Rage. Let me watch that again on Tubi.
Where quality lives. Right.
I went, oh, man, this is for lack of, how can I put this the most poetic way? Blows.
It's pretty rough.
I was feeling some not so silent rage after being forced to watch that.
Imagine if you paid, I don't remember what movies cost back then, but it had to be, that was like 82, 81, something like that.
Yeah.
So what was it, $2 or $1.50 or something like that back then? But even then, still, I know I'm seeing this as at a matinee and there's two films here, and it's really technically I'm only spending 75% on this.
And you got your money from your mom anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I was man, if I had spent my allowance money on that. So anyway, that would have ticked me off. I got to find out about this now, because this is something, because we're getting to know each other here. This is the first time you're on this particular program. So I got to know podcasting, and every time I talk to the podcasting family, I have to know why, because podcasters, for lack of a better way of saying it, we're all nuts. So because we chose to do this, and in addition to that, we love doing it. So I need to know why. How did it start? Give me the origin story, my friends.
I'll
let Kevin take it, Erin?
You can do the actual origin, and I'll tell you why I think we're doing it. And that's because there's 7 kids in our family, and we all need a lot of attention. So is this or theater?
7.
This and theater.
This and theater. We also sing, but not well.
Oh, speak for yourself.
It's all attention.
Okay, now
exactly.
You just said this. So so for those of you playing the home game, these two are related in what way?
Brother and sister.
Exactly. I can tell that because of the banter. Because I know how I sound when I talk with my sister. Somebody outside going, siblings. As soon as we start running our mouths, they look at us like, if you see us, physically see us, they go, oh, that may be, because we're close in age. Oh, they're a couple maybe. And then we start talking. Your brother and sister, aren't you?
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. So I gotta know. So essentially, are you two the weirdest of the 7?
I would think so. Erin?
Well, we have some other ones who took a dark turn during the last election. I would consider that weirder. Yes. Boom. But as far as this kind of stuff, for sure, We're the most creative. How about that?
Oh, okay. That's a nice way to spend
We're
it.
the
I'm gonna use that
coolest.
myself.
We're the cool kids.
That's right.
But this is an interesting a turn as far as something to do on a weekly basis. It's an interesting thing to do. Why did you pick podcasting?
I think on some level, it's like you struggle to find people to talk Silent Rage with. So you figure
maybe you do.
you want to talk about it, so you record your episode and put it out into the universe, and then wave your freak flag, and then maybe the other freaks come out of their freak holes.
I'm curious. It's just a weird thing. There's just, I mean, wait, was there any other kind of entertaining that you did in the family? Were you a bunch of singers or comedians, actors?
Oh my God, you don't even know. We would go and try to come up with terrible plays to try to force our parents to watch. We'd put on the 8-track and then dance to Grease and whatever nonsense. And my mother would sounds like you need more practice. Go back and rehearse and come back. In other words, get the hell away. I have guests over.
I said, you had a whole troop though. There's 55 of you. You had understudies.
It's like the Osmonds or somebody, right?
Yeah,
but without any talent whatsoever.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to keep that. But that is just one of those things I was always fascinated about, because I know that we always, if we have entertainment in us at all, the first person we torture with it, is the parents. You run up. How about this, Mom? I'm cooking. Get out. Put the chicken down for a minute. Watch this. Put a little. You don't really taking any tap dancing lessons. Get off the linoleum.
Can we show you now? Can we show you now? Can we show you now? Oh my God. I'm sure this is.
You need more practice.
You need more practice. Go back and try a little bit. Try for a little bit longer, and then come back out.
What did you pick movies for though?
I just think we always I remember as a kid watching Elvira late at night, keep giving me nightmares. I mean, this is a comedy show, and it would still give me nightmares. It's a sad situation. I think there's a cathartic part of it because, our podcast is largely horror themed. And now our souls are so black and crispy that now nothing scares us. So it is what it is.
For sure. I was like a frightened kid. Like my parents would be going out, the babysitter was on their way, and I'd see like the end of an advertisement for like a scary movie. And the next thing I'd be like clinging to my mother's leg, please don't go out. And I don't know how I moved from that to this.
Did you actually see Silent? Forget Silent Rage for a minute because I'm getting a headache. I was like, Tubi's free, but I still want $5 back. Did you? Because I saw one of the other movies you did was the Amityville Horror.
Oh, dude, when I'm older. I'm like 10 years older than Kevin. So when I was in junior high, that was the book to read. It wasn't Harry Potter. Everybody was reading Amityville Horror, and that's when it was a true story. That was before it was all debunked, and that was it. So of course we had to do that one. That's just a slice of life.
Isn't it kind of funny that as an adult you hear that it's debunked when it's as a child? Because I was at 76, 77, 78, somewhere around there.
Something like
Probably,
that.
yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't even 10 years old. I was about 10 years old when that came out. So, but I saw it when I was a few years later, when they do the secondary release and the movie comes back to the small theaters. So I saw these movies as a 13-year-old or something like that. And I remember watching it and, get out. And I'm sitting there going, I'm half scared, but there's a part of me that realizes, get the hell out of here with this crap, blood coming through the walls, and he runs back to save the dog. Get out of here.
It is true. They've never done a good version. The book was scary as fuck, but it was always a little campy.
It's like the only movie that scared me to death when I was little was The Omen, the original one.
I like The Omen. That's a good one too.
That just because there's one thing to be afraid. I wasn't afraid that I'm going to walk down and there's going to spikes going to go through my head. When I'm in the front yard or anything. But you just get this because the gore stuff. I used to watch karate movies as a kid, and people get their heads chopped off, arms chopped off. Like, oh, that's real scary. I saw that. I actually saw that while I was eating cornflakes this morning. Get that crap out of my face. Yeah. But when you start thinking about the devil coming in your house,
absolutely. I mean, I think some of the scariest stuff that we've seen is often like ghost stuff because there's no door you can lock. And we've all lived in a house where you hear like a creak or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? The Conjuring, we saw that fairly recently for the first time.
The Conjuring 3 stinks, but the first 2 were pretty darn good.
Creepy.
Ironically, that was really the tagline for the movie.
You can quote me on that. That's my review.
Yeah, the third one sucked.
We should all just, because we have shows, we should just start saying nice things about movies so we can see our blurb, microscopic size tagline on movies. Anaconda 6, fantastic thrill ride.
I was shocked they brought back John Voight. Crazy.
Jeez Louise. You know what? I get the feeling that the Anaconda would probably spit him out at this point after
He's a little bitter, a little sour.
That's what he does in the real movie too.
We read what you said. Oh. I don't know why I enjoyed that movie because it was so stupid. But sometimes when the movie is that dumb, first of all, if I know it's dumb and stupid going in, I go, okay, I already know this is dumb.
Right.
Because I remember seeing the ads on TV going, okay.
You knew nightmares were not going to be a problem.
I was like, let's see this really bad CGI snake that they come up with.
Terrible.
You can still see eraser marks from them drawing it. That was like the worst. It's like, if you know how a snake actually moves, if you ever held a snake or seen a snake, you're going, yeah.
Well, and it had like the craziest cast. It was Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson is in this thing for some reason. Crazy old John Voight doing his. I mean, and again, he's supposed to play a South American. This is John Voight we're talking about. It's
the worst accent of all time.
Well, he had to take that movie because he lost out to Wesley Snipes for Blade.
That's right. That's exactly right. Good Lord.
Yeah, because I was just talking to another a movie reviewer last night, and we were laughing at some of the movies that were just completely stupid. One of the movies we were both laughing at was Face Off.
Oh my God!
Yes,
Kevin loves Face Off. I hate that so much.
If it's got Nicolas Cage, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. Sight unseen.
That's my.
Although lately it's been a little more touch and go, but early.
Lately it's been touch and go. Please, if by lately you mean 1978, I don't know.
If you haven't seen The Wicker Man, the remake with Nicolas Cage, you are missing out on one of the finer things in life. I mean, it is ridiculous with a capital Nick Cage. Uncaged.
I'm too busy pitching a Silent Rage 2.
Maybe he could sub in for oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Chuck Norris.
No,
Nicolas Cage did 2 movies of any worth: Moonstruck and Valley Girl. The rest.
Basically, what you're saying is he peaked 45 years ago.
Yes.
And we won't be reviewing those movies on our show, sadly.
That is, and the name is based on the horror franchises.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes. Well, originally there was a science fiction movie from like the 50s called The Brain That Wouldn't Die, and when we were kind of tossing around names for it, it's hard to come up with a good podcast name. At one point, we were going to be the podcast that time forgot. I mean, it's rough sledding. Let me tell you. We did our best.
I wanted Kevin and Erin's Homemade Podcast, and my brother shut it down.
That is true. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, well, he decided. I'm surprised he didn't call it "Damn These Movies Blow."
Well, they can blow in a funny way, and that's okay. But they can't be 2.5 hours long and be boring.
That's the funny thing.
That's a high crime.
It's weird because nobody really. I mean, movies. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing now, but I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I catch so many movies on Netflix now. I'm just like so busy, and it's like, you gonna go to the movie theater? No, I would like to, but I can't do it right now. And you see these movies, and I remember, and I'm gonna sound like I'm 1,000, but I remember movies routinely going past 2 hours, and then all of a sudden, it's like they went, if we cut the movies down to an hour and a half, we can get 2 extra showings a day, more money for us, more popcorn for them. How long is Silent Rage again? Perfect length.
It's like 2:20 or so. I mean, I'm trying to think. What was Silent Rage? It was we watched a movie that was like 2 hours and 30. What was that?
Swarm.
The Swarm?
Oh my God. And then it was Life Force, also 2.5 hours long. But you're right. Most modern horror movies are about 90 minutes, like right on the dime.
That's all you need.
I don't need, it's like I remember getting some of my younger cousins to watch some of the movies that came out in the 70s that they heard about. Because when I was their age, I went to the library and got VHS tapes of classic films. And
I used to do that too.
Then you get like 6 or 7. I'm going, let's see how this To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's see how good this is.
It sounds like a murder story. Boy, that's going to be exciting.
I don't see any guns,
Why are they killing that mockingbird?
12 angry men. They only look perturbed to me, And I got a bunch, and I watched them. I was like, oh, these are as good as they said, as I ran them. So I tried to get them to watch movies, but they were so used to movies being 78 minutes.
Right.
And car chase explosion.
Ironically, that would be a really good title for a movie. I would be right there watching. I would have to suggest car chase explosion, kick to the throat. Now that guy movie.
Yes.
I like that. Kick to the throat, punch to the throat. Boom.
Now if you're gonna pick a genre that you watch just for fun, is it still the horror, or do you what is your favorite movie? Everybody has a go-to movie, go-to 2 or 3 movies. I do. So I know you guys have go-to 2 or 3 movies. Let's hear them.
I like watching the old black and white, like film noir, things like that, like mysteries and the fast-talking detective and the snappy dialogue.
Yeah, see?
That and Wes Anderson. I'll watch anything by Wes Anderson.
I'll tell you what. When I think of my favorite movie, I got to go Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm.
I got to.
The first one is solid.
The first one. We watched it recently, and it's perfect, man. It's aged like a fine wine. It's still great.
Yeah.
They stereotypically take certain movies and push them into the guy category and into the lady category. And, I don't necessarily buy into that per se. I mean, because I remember I took a lady friend to see, I was seeing her, and I was dumb enough to not remember what the last 4 movies we went to. And she suckered me into 4 straight romantic comedies. We were supposed to switch off. And like an idiot, I was like, wait, hey, Julia Roberts? Oh, no, you don't. And I like Julia Roberts. But I was like, we just saw, that. And I took her to Under Siege, and I was hoping she hated it. She was like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to love it. It's going to be dudes stabbing each other in the eye, stuff blowing up. She's going to think it sucks. I'm going to teach her a lesson for making me. She loved the freaking thing. Like,
I'll tell you what, that one's actually pretty good.
That's what I meant. I didn't know that.
Right? It's not marked for death, that's for sure. I mean, as far as the Seagal movie goes, this is almost a classic.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how good he's for that type of movie. His movies were, but then when you watch things now, and I'll be honest with you, if I see a Steven Seagal movie pop up on one of the streaming services, it's got to be a Saturday. It's got to be a Saturday, and it's got to be before. It has to end by 1:30 because I can't do. You're not ruining my whole day, and so and I watched it and I went, for a guy that can't kick anymore,
right?
But you see the guy with the pillow in the stomach and in his shirt, doing the crescent kicks for him. Yeah, I mean, he can still beat my behind, but I mean, it's like, come on, man.
He go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
He did not adhere to any kind of workout routine at all. I mean, Jean-Claude, the muscles from Brussels had, abs, muscles. Steven Seagal had keg basically, right? I mean, he just rolled out of bed, put some gel in his hair, pulled it back in a ponytail, said, "I'm ready for action," I guess. And he run like, I don't know, doing karate chop.
That was horrible. I still remember laughing. I was like, you got to be kidding me with that, brother. I still remember he was like rail thin in those first two movies too. He was like really stick thin. But I remember, like, I had a fall recently and I had to get X-rays on my knees, my shoulders. I'm gonna be all right, no big deal. But I remember during the initially after I got up, you'd hear those sounds like oh, you make those sounds when you get up. I'm watching the movie of his, and he was doing. I swear I heard this in the movie. He's flipping the guy and hear him go.
That's not the Foley artist either. That's all Seagal.
Pure Seagal.
I'm sitting there going, I'm like, did you take off the audio guy? Leave that grunt in there. He cut in front of me at the craft services table. Leave that grunt in there. And he farted. Put that back in there too. Put the fart and the grunt back in.
Yeah. It's your grandfather trying to get up from the sofa. It's that kind of grunt.
And I really wish I could remember the movie, but I just remember him going, that. Like, I know what a throw sounds like. I mean, I know there's a grunt where it's like you're exerting, and then there's like, this is gonna hurt tomorrow. I gotta end this fight now, or it's over for me.
Yeah, Steve, maybe lay off the craft service table a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was. By the way, if I ever wound up doing a movie with Mr. Seagal, I just want to let you know that. That was Kevin and Erin talking crap.
Steven, if you're listening, no offense. It's all said in love.
Yes, I'm in Russia right now, but right now what I'm saying is I might run into you, and I don't want to be like John Leguizamo, who's probably going to get smacked around if they run into each other.
Right.
It's like, but that is interesting. But so, how long have you been doing this specific podcast, my friends?
What has it been? A year and a half, Erin?
I think so. We started right before the pandemic, and then of course once we all had to work from home, then we're watching like 3 movies a week. It's a really weird thing because you're literally, it's impossible for you to run out of movies that stink. Let's be honest, most of them do. So you can't run out of, especially the only way you could run out is if you decided to do 4 podcasts a day.
Right. I mean, and the goal,
they're still making them.
Yes. The goal is not to pick crappy movies. That's just an unfortunate side effect, I'm sad to say.
And of course, most of the ones I think are crappy are Kevin's childhood classics.
Oh, how dare you.
But you have to understand something. It's your job, as all of my siblings know. It's your job to torture your siblings about the crap they watch. Because this is right now somewhere, and my sister is watching Matlock, and if I ever go to her house in Matlock, so when she looks over at me, she knows she's going to get him going. Really, you know what's coming, right? Ridicule is coming. I came to bring you this thing over that you have me left over in my house. I have no choice but to laugh at you for watching Matlock religiously.
So it's like an 80-year-old Andy Griffith solving crimes. Is that basically what it is? Sweet Lord.
It's really weird because if you've ever been in the court, you realize that they don't necessarily let you talk that long. And let me tell you something right now. So, and you have this pencil, right? And he's talking for 8 minutes, and the defense counsel's over there. I'm just going to sit here and say nothing.
You can't object on occasion, counselor.
That's right. I do not object.
I concede to losing. It's like even Law and Order will make them lose sometimes on the damn show. Exactly. Somebody dies. Somebody goes to jail that shouldn't. They keep it somewhat real with Andy and Matlock. Let me ask you a question. You had a bowl of cereal. I did it, man. How'd you know about the cereal? Okay.
I object, Your Honor. Matlock is boring the audience.
Except for my sister
and our grandparents, apparently, because that was very popular. And Murder, She Wrote.
And Murder, She Wrote. FYI, that's another show she watches religiously.
They go hand in hand. How come Murder, She Wrote didn't marry Matlock? That could have been a very special Matlock.
Oh, well, and also you'd have a lot of Viagra commercials through the whole show.
That's true.
Pens undergarments, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I resent that when it's on shows and I'm watching. I'm like, yo, not yet, damn it.
Are you judging me? Are you judging me?
What you guys trying to say, man? I just want to watch football, damn it. I don't need your judgment.
It's like you get the spam email for Viagra, and I'm like, who's talking? You know, who's selling sales out of school?
I said, excuse me, does no one honor NDAs anymore? So what is it? So as far as this is concerned, I've been doing mine, not this one, the one you're on, but my other one, 8 years. This one's about a couple years old. I'm not going to stop anytime soon. That's obvious. Now, what about you two? How long are you going to just keep going, and you still enjoying it? Because some people get burnt out really quickly. I mean, you've been around a while, so you probably passed that part.
Kevin had a show before this. Kevin used to have a YouTube show called the B Movie Club, and then I would guest host on that. And then I think we took a 2-year hiatus.
Yep. Yeah, it was called the B Movie Club, and it was kind of the same thing where I'd just discuss whatever movie I felt like talking about. Is how it works. But we did that for 5 years. Took a break, and
oh my God, did you do that for 5 years? 5
GD years, yes.
I was Good just times. A special guest artist. How many episodes was I on for that one? I think I was maybe only on 10 or something.
Something like that. Special guest artist. What does this mean?
Featured artist.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Coming soon.
I just kind of horned in on his show. He used to have other guests. I think your first one was your wife, then it'd just be you recording from your bedroom, and then occasionally you have a homie roll in, and he'd be on there.
Yep. Well, I tried to get like guests from time to time, and my friends were like, pass. Thanks for nothing. Good times.
What are the significant others, the kids, the feel about the podcast? Because I know that these especially after you've been doing it for a while, they get to be a little bit, and I don't want to say this with a negative connotation, labor intensive, after a while. And some of the people I talk to, they go, my wife says, you got 2 hours. That's it. It's all you're doing. You research and record. You got 2 hours. And I just talked to somebody else, and his wife, do whatever you want. Where do you have any kind of problems like that with the kids, the spouse?
Kevin has to go across the street to like the elderly neighbor's house to record because his Wi-Fi with his 3 daughters who are all like screaming. It's always a crisis.
Yeah, I'm at the neighbors across the street. She's watching Matlock right now. So.
At my sister's house? Tell her my sneakers are still there. Tell them to get them back. I left them there last time.
What's funny is my wife is kind of like, okay, go do your thing. My youngest daughter formed a Twitter account called The Fan That Wouldn't Die. And for like 2 weeks, we're like, oh, we have like a real fan.
We were so excited. We're like, whoa. And Kevin was quizzing all our brothers and sisters. They're like, did you do this? Because we didn't know who it was. And then we found out it was one of his daughters.
Who doesn't watch the show or listen to the show anymore, sadly. So
she's out of the will.
Do you have the because a lot of times your relatives are super sporadic. No matter how many people you have listening, your relatives, I listened to that one you talked about the floopy thing and going, I'm on episode 420. That was like episode 206.
Right.
Oh yeah. For sure. No one in our family except maybe one of Kevin's kids listened to us.
Sporadic would be too kind. Let me put it that
way. It's really weird because I was sitting there going, wait a second, what is going on here with people? Because I had friends listen. The friends will listen more than the damn relatives, which is hilarious.
Right.
It's
like we're blood, for goodness sake. Help me out. No?
One of my favorite lies is, yeah, man, I heard that story already. I wrote it yesterday. You big liar. I wrote that script yesterday. You big phony. And no, you weren't there for it. You know, but now, have you ever thought about, doing any kind of other podcast in addition to this?
Since Kevin does all the work, so I think that would kill him. Between I notice I'm getting Twitter notifications when I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Kevin's already up retweeting shit, so I think it may kill him.
I mean, I'd be cool going on somebody else's show from time to time.
We like this, where we don't have to edit it or watch something in advance or answer. Right. We can just ramble.
Did you literally just say, I would be cool going on someone else's show for a change while you're literally on someone else's show?
That's
it's like going, you know what I'd like to be? I'd like to be a guy. Really? Would you like to do that?
I was on vacation in Iceland and Kevin was trying to twist my arm to appear at 11 o'clock at night, Iceland time, on a podcast. I was like, dude, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I can't do it.
Hold it a second. Let's not just gloss over this Iceland thing. Like, you know, like she just casually throws Iceland in. Right. I was just, you know, it's like, hey guys, I really like these tacos. These are really, really good tacos. Tomorrow I gotta go. I'm gonna go to Elon Musk's house and help him with the new Tesla. I'm gonna help with this new Tesla, the Model 2 that's gonna the $25,000 model one. Yeah, I'm designing that. But what I would like to say about the avocado on this burrito. Now, come on, you gotta explain Iceland. You can't just throw Iceland out randomly, like everyone goes there on the weekend, like it's the short trip.
I had to get the fuck out of the United States, and it's been 100 degrees here for like 70 days. So I was good. I wanted to go to Europe. I was going to go to Vienna, and it was hot. Then I was like, Iceland, 58 degrees in August.
Well, where are you? You said you're going to get away from here.
We're in California.
Oh, okay. Well, where in California, you guys?
I'm in Bakersfield. I'm in the Central Valley, and he's in Southern California.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking to someone who lived in Hollywood and San Francisco during the 90s. So
I was in the Bay Area in the 90s. I was in Fremont.
Yeah. I was surprised at how cold it actually got in San Francisco. I went there I got there in September, right around the football season. And I'm walking around like, I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm sitting there going, you gotta put a jacket on? When you go to Iceland, when you go to other places outside of California, when I was there, I became climatized to Southern California weather. And then I came back to visit the family in wintertime, which was stupid. Because that was the first time cold physically hurt.
I have never lived anywhere that snowed or that got anything really lower than 30 degrees.
Ooh.
But going the other way, we grew up in Palm Springs, which was routinely 120 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So then you'd leave there. I moved to San Diego from Palm Springs, and I was just like, I can never go back to Palm Springs ever again. Those days are over. Goodbye.
And you'll die.
Right.
I was in the desert of I spent some time in Arizona, and I walked outside and I saw the big sign and it said 123 degrees, and I thought the sign was broken. I literally thought, I was like, oh man, is there any way I could find I could see the heat waves coming off the street.
Yeah.
I'm going, what the hell is this?
Yep.
People live and deal with this crap on a regular basis on purpose. And
I would walk around barefoot. I had the most extreme calluses on my feet where I'm running across the asphalt in August in Palm Springs. It's 120 degrees. We were like feral children, I think.
I'd go play basketball at 120 heat.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like Erin has feet like you have
Frodo?
feet like no you have,
Frodo is right.
You have feet like it's like they always say chef fingers or chef hands.
Oh yeah, with just the scars and stuff. Oh yeah.
Because I remember that I had some friends that were guitar players, and I meet the guy, shake his hand, And I don't have any of that stuff on my hand. And I was like, so you pretty much use your hands. You do with your hands the same thing I do with new shoes. You just kind of take your hands and scuff them up and drive cars over them. What the hell is wrong with your face?
Yeah, they all have nerve damage, scars, burns. Because why would you ever use a pot holder?
It's really weird. A friend of mine, he was a chef at a restaurant, and his hands. I looked at the inside of his hands, and I was like, it looked like a dog paw. I'm like, what the hell is wrong? Hey, I've been a chef for 25 years. This is my hands look like. I'm like, all right, we're gonna be elbow bumping.
I put some Vaseline or something on that.
Oh, it was. He wouldn't even know if you did. They would require nerve endings working.
It's basically a lobster claw at some point.
It's really weird how you get these, because if you really think about it, if you looked at your vocal cords as someone who podcasts once a week and has to project your voice into a microphone, look at your vocal cords versus a person who doesn't do that all the time and see what they look like under the microscope. You're going, I did not realize that, but it's much, much better than a football player who has to walk around with the metal wrapped around his kneecaps for the last 30 years of his life. But there's always damage to that kind of thing. But that was really weird. Is that the weird, as far as Iceland is concerned, is that because you mentioned a lot of different places you wanted to travel to. Are you a traveling woman?
Well, I'm an educator, so I have all of my summers off. So yeah, for sure.
Because I know a lot of the ladies that I know, even my sister, I'll call that on my father's side. She goes, yeah, we go to lunch. She's got pictures from Rome. She took my niece there, and they're running. I'm like, you really are a traveling woman. She didn't even say anything. I'm like, you just abruptly leave the damn country, and then you let people know when you're gone already. I was like,
I've been to Italy many, many times, and I'm going back again this summer unless my aunt cancels again.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever done a European trip alone, just to go by yourself?
Iceland was the first time I ever went by myself.
Is it weird traveling by yourself? I mean, to travel.
I was freaking out because I had never traveled by myself, so I was like having panic attacks driving to LAX. I was like, but I had booked a freaking tour, so I mean, they were picking me up at the airport, and I was still freaking out. But I survived.
Well, as someone who was also a former long-term resident of Los Angeles, panic attacks going to LAX is normal. So that had nothing to do with the trip.
Let's just go through the TSA.
I was like, geez, I actually traveled before 9/11. And then we did shows right after it, and I had to travel again. And it was the first time I was just catching a train to do some shows, and I was like, it looked like what I imagined it would be like if I was in Israel with, they had AK-47s, dogs, I was like, geez, Louise, Lord. But then again, their planes don't get hijacked. So,
I went through something like that, like long time ago. I think I was in college, and I was in Ireland. And this was still during all the IRA bombing. So I was going from the Republic of Ireland into Northern Ireland, and I was on a bus with like my grandparents and like 1,000-year-old, like 30 people that must have been 1,000 years old. And the British soldiers, there's gun towers on either side. They all have machine guns. They board the bus, walk up and down the bus. Who are you, all American? Where's your ID? Where are you from? Where are you going? It was pretty freaky. I was like, I've never seen a machine gun except on TV before. This is kind of wild.
You know what's hilarious though? This was absolutely one of the funniest things. It was terrifying at the moment, but it was funny. A guy, now this is right after 9/11. Okay. We're at the bus terminal. A guy leaves his bag in the middle of the floor and walks into the McDonald's because he forgot his soda. And I'm sitting right next to the bag, and I'm going, yeah, I'm going to go on the other side of this thing here. And then all of a sudden you hear, and this is the guy's walking out. He goes, hey, it's just his books. And I even said to the guy when he sat down, I go, did you really think that was a good idea?
Oh.
On 9/14,
Oh.
to leave
Oh,
a
no.
bag in the middle of a train station and that you walk briskly away from.
Now that's all kinds of bad. I'm suspicious even on any day when I'm at an airport and I see a bag, because first of all, it's going to get stolen. So then why would you leave it there? So that I'm always like, okay, going over this way.
Yeah. Kevin, are you a traveler?
I am a traveler, although it's been a while. I mean, obviously with the craziness going on. Back in '97, I did a backpacking trip through Europe over the summer, and that was dynamite. I mean, you go and you see new cultures, you meet new people. You don't really tell people you're an American. You kind of keep that on the DL. Oh, I'm Canadian. Sorry, I'm Canadian. I'm one of the good ones.
Take off, eh? Take off, eh?
You hoser.
I have some really, really thickly cut bacon I'd like to share with you.
It's all strange brew.
I've only been to Mexico, and I remember signing some paperwork where it was legalese, but you don't have to be a legal scholar to decipher what it was. Was basically, if you get arrested in Mexico, we don't know you.
Yeah.
Which is basically what it was like. I'm sitting there going, you really think I'm going to go with any further than 15 feet from this tour guide? Are you insane?
No, it's not like the Israelis. They're not sending in the special ops to come and rescue. The U.S. government goes, bing. So sad for you.
This is President Clinton. I would like to send out the National Guard for a stand-up comedian and his girlfriend trapped in Mexico. He has not done the national television yet, so we have to definitely get him out of there. No, because
Russell Crowe's not coming to help you there.
Sean Penn might in a rowboat. He might come sliding in there, but that's an interesting thing though, because I don't know. I try to I don't know. I really would. As weird as this sounds to say, I mean, obviously, I would love to see Europe and all those other places, and eventually I will. But I still want to travel this country and visit some more of the places here. But I'll be honest with you. Certain places don't want to go.
Well, I understand that, but I figured when I retire, I'm going to be poor. So that's when me and my Prius will be discovering the United States. When I still have a steady income, I'm going to the other places. Yeah. That's my theory.
Have you been coal rolled in your Prius yet?
What's that?
You know what coal rolling is? That's when people have their diesel trucks and they see a Tesla or a hybrid car that is one of them electric cars, and they step on the gas and it dumps extra fuel into the tank and it blows black smoke into electric cars. That's what they do. They coal roll electric cars.
But I will tell you, I used to do that. I used to have this a diesel Camry. They only made it 1 year. So and it had no power whatsoever, but it did have this magic trick that if you tailgated me and I accelerated and I threw my foot all the way down to the floor, it would do the same thing, a big black belch of smoke. So that was its only power.
Yeah, but these idiots would have a switch.
Oh my God.
Oh, I see a Prius, click. I was like, why would you do that? I'll teach them a lesson by poisoning the planet that I also live on.
How dare you care about the environment?
Yeah. And I'm in a really conservative area, so that sounds like a Midwest kind of a situation there.
Yeah. So you was an Orange County type situation. I don't know. I saw a friend of mine lives in Santa Monica. I stayed with him for a while, and I remember looking at. It was really weird watching people outside. I'm going, calm down. It's going to be okay. Relax. Because I ran into my first mask person who didn't like the fact that I was wearing one.
Yes. I was at the Charger game on Sunday. I've got season tickets, which in retrospect seemed like a poor idea. allegedly masks are required. Allegedly. There was nobody. I was wearing my mask. My wife was wearing her mask, and we were in a sea of Dallas Cowboy fans. No masks anywhere. On the big screen, no masks anywhere. I'm just like, what is going on? Super spreader. Good times.
It was just kind of a funny thing. One person tried to. You could tell he wanted to pull the mask off. But then I looked at him and he thought better of it.
Oh my God, that's insane.
He comes over and I just looked at him like, yeah, that's not a good idea, dude. Yeah, and he just kind of went, yeah. And he goes, hey. He was like, I don't think you want to do that.
No. Mostly we just have the opposite. Even at the height of the pandemic, the people not wearing masks. It's not good for me to breathe in my own exhaust. I'm like, really? Well, because it's not good for me that you're trying to kill me. You fucking bitch. It's
just a weird thing when you go online and it's like you can't even have. Sometimes you get into a situation prior to this, you didn't want to have religious conversations with someone. You didn't want to talk politics with someone, mainly because not because necessarily a conflict, because you didn't want to have to sit there for 45 minutes listening to that crap when they bore you to death. I'm at the ATM. A guy literally, first of all, I don't like talking to people. I'm at an ATM anyway.
Oh yeah, hello. Can we back off here? I know you're trying to spy my PIN number. Get away.
Hey, buddy. Hey, and I'm going, and I look over at him, and I'm going, okay, he's not trying to be slick. Oh, he's on the ATM next to me. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And we're going, hey, buddy, I tell you, the weather, blah, 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 innocuous conversation, blah, 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 innocuous, blah, 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 friendly, blah, 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 blah. And out of nowhere, bro, do you believe in vaccines?
Oh.
And I looked at him like, where? I said, where exactly is it? How exactly did that segue come in to play? I'm trying to figure out how did you ease into, do you believe in vaccines, bro? Do you believe in that?
He thought you were like one of him. He thought that you guys were simpatico from your nice ATM conversation.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, well, I'm wearing a mask and you're not, so.
Right.
I was like, because the police officer in the back, you can see the police officer noticed he wasn't wearing a mask and start to come towards him, and then he kind of eased out after he got his money. I just thought that was the dumbest thing. Like, hey, bro, you believe in vaccines, bro?
Oh my God!
Get away from me! It is.
Well, do you have polio?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in vaccines. I don't have polio. Yes, thank you.
Listen to me, man. You don't understand, okay? All I'm saying is the 7 of you have been brainwashed by the people, man. You understand what I'm saying? The thing, in addition to that, bro, and the stuff and the thing, and you're crazy because there's a microchip in your eyes, and there it is.
Right.
No.
I just found out this week someone I work with did in fact order and consume the dewormer.
The horse paste.
Ivermectin.
This is someone with a master's degree.
Not in science, right?
Yeah, apparently not. Or common sense.
I'm just really curious because to me it's really weird. If I had the ability to influence people that much, I probably would, try to get them to do good stuff.
Right.
One would think.
I'm trying to do, if I walked outside and, all right, there's Anthony, there's 20 million of us. We have 2 choices: help people, whip their asses. Okay, I'm gonna have to take the ass whipping thing off the table right there, and there's only one thing left. So, you want to go with that? Help! I'm just curious about that. I don't know. I don't know.
Hence the reason I had to go to Iceland, because I had to get away from this bullshit.
Yeah, I can see you. Hey, hi, my name's Jim. Your name? Hi, Erin. It's nice to meet you. Can I ask you a question? Is this your first time in Iceland? Oh, yes, it is. Do you believe in the vaccine, ma'am?
Have you found Jesus? How about that? That's the other one. Have you found Jesus? I didn't know he was lost.
You want to know? You know what I've learned to do, which is hilarious, because if you use any of the major religions that we're used to here in the United States, I've done telemarketing. Have either one of you at any point in your life done telemarketing?
Yes.
Okay. So you're familiar with what an objection is and how you have the flow chart of objections and those kind of things. They're familiar with the major religions here. And I tend to want to humor myself when I've already told you that I'm not interested. So they come up to me, and I'm familiar. I read some Eastern philosophy, so I know the names of religions that most people don't know here in the country. So they don't have objections for these religions. So every once in a while, one out. I'll just say Buddhism right now, because they people are aware of it, but they don't know anything about it. So I say, he goes, "Have you ever had the thing with the stuff, bro? And the thing, the path, and the love, the thing, and you can come to visit us with the stuff?" And I go, actually, I've been a practicing Buddhist for the past 15 years, and they have nothing to say. They have no Buddhism objections. I don't know anything about that, but I know you don't know anything about it either. I don't know anything about that. So let me ask you a question, my friends. I'm going to go back to your podcast really quickly. Is there any chance you were going to bring in anything other than horror? You were going to stick lockdown on horror and sci-fi? Because I know that sometimes you do something for a long period of time, you go, all right, enough with the damn horror.
But it's so broad. Oh no! Now that was one of the movies that I thought that when I was 14 I thought was the funniest fucking movie in the whole wide world, and I watched it 10 years ago, and I was like, "You're mentally disturbed, Erin. When you were 14, you were mentally because this is racist. It was like anti-Semitic. It is just disgusting."
Right.
I was horrified. I didn't laugh at all. I was like, oh.
No. The worst is when you're like, "Oh, you've never seen this favorite childhood classic of mine? Let me show you how great it is." And then you're both watching. You're just like,
And then they're looking at you, going, "Uh-huh."
You disgust me. Have you ever? Here's one. I'm waiting for the young ones to cancel Three's Company. Right. Absolutely. Because every reference to Jack Tripper from either of the landlords is like if you look up homophobia, the scripts fall out of the book. It's like, so what are you gonna do, Jack? Fly up to the second floor? It's like, oh, when I listen to this, it's like it just burns my. It's like, and I grew up watching that show, and when I listen to it now, it's like ooh, it's like ooh. Hey, how about we get together and get in the bed, girls? You're like, oh God. It's like, geez, it's like, what is this? Come and knock on our door and say something homophobic and rapey.
Well, not only that, it somehow managed to skip the entire music industry.
It's like, it's like I'm so glad that most of my the music I like the most was Prince music. Because it's like, I mean, when I listen to the stuff that I listened to in my 20s, and I'm in the car playing, and I was like, no, I was playing Spotify just like earlier today, and they were playing the uncensored versions of some of the songs I like when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh, ooh, yeah, say that. I don't have a daughter, but if you say that,
you were angry youth back then, so you weren't listening maybe with an analytical mind.
Well, and also in addition to that, it was the radio versions, because I did because I bought I was and still am a Prince head. So usually I'm listening to Prince. So I'm listening to guitar solos and some dude jumping off of a piano, holding guitar and doing a split, and I'm used to that. And I'm sitting going, it's like the word problematic has a lot of power now, because and even someone who was pretty. If you went back in time and listened to some of the things that you said when you were with your main cluster of friends, when you were in your, let's say about 17 to about 23, a lot of people would lose their jobs on the Oscars, not from homophobia, but just in general stuff.
Just from whatever. Right. Thank God not a lot of people had video cameras and there were no iPhones, but otherwise I could never be president, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm luckily pretty clean. Thank goodness. But I know there's got to be at least 2 or 3 things, that I said. Nothing on Twitter or podcast.
Right.
Like way back then.
Just among friends.
Yeah, but my friends back then were professional comedians, so you can imagine when you see a roast on Comedy Central, that is literally the watered down version of what comedians sound like when they're by themselves talking.
Right.
So I watched the roast and go, that roast dirty. We're looking at it like, no, it's not.
And dudes say stuff to be shocking sometimes to each other.
Yeah. Sometimes. Good Lord. It's like if I say something dumb on either one of these podcasts, I already know that the next day, as soon as I turn on my phone, I know what the message is going to be. You dumb bastard, you should. I'm going to get destroyed by like 8 dudes. So I know that's coming. I know that's
But not every joke is a pearl, especially when you're riffing. You're like, I offend people all the time. Like, I can't always be funny.
They can't all be winners.
They all can't be winners. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but these guys
too far.
These idiots will torture you even with the good ones. That was funny, but we're still going to get you. Like, oh God. But that was a funny thing there with I'm still thinking about right before I contacted you guys for this episode, when I literally listened to your episode. I'm like, let me see if Silent Rage is online. I'm gonna see if this is. Oh, it's on Tubi. Let me watch Silent Rage. God,
I believe that's where I watched it. I'm sure Kevin owns it.
Yes. No. I mean, Silent Rage. I mean, there's a lot of problems with Silent Rage. Overall, I just think it's kind of boring. It is its greatest offense. I mean, sadly.
100%. If you can be goofy, you can be stupid. You can be funny. You can be scary. Just don't be boring.
It looks like it took the worst parts of other movies. It's like,
right.
Take the scenes that didn't work in other movies and then stitch them together, and then in between have Chuck kick people in the face, and then we'll take this young lady and have her breasts out for some reason. That really wasn't necessary for them. It was like that was really not necessary. I mean, like I said, 12, 13-year-old me wasn't complaining about it, but it's like it's not. I'm like, I get it. Okay, we get it. All right. I mean, when you're watching the movie and a dude's complaining, it's like, I get it. We get it. We saw them. That's enough. Calm down over there. All right. We're good. Just calm down. I don't need to see Chuck kissing somebody for 15 minutes because it's like God. Really bad. Like,
even his fighting was terrible. It was all like weird, super slow motion karate. I'm like, dude, I've seen you in the old Bruce Lee movies. First of all, he's clearly manscaped too, because the old Bruce Lee movies, he looked like he had a hair sweater on.
Oh, but way of the Dragon.
I mean, it was all such slow motion fighting in this one. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then that thing where he ripped the hair off of his chest and blew it. I was like, why?
That
I was like, why was that? Because and the thing is, from what I understand, he actually called Chuck Norris up and said, look, you wanna be in a movie? He goes, I know what you're saying, Bruce. You want to beat the world champion. He goes, no. I want to kill the world champion, because he was the world champion kickboxer at the time. And he figured, bring him in. I'll beat him up in a movie. And my fans will see me kick the crap out of the reigning undefeated kickboxing champion. And I get it. They those UFC guys are going to be in movies in 2 seconds. They actually are doing movies now. These really bad movies. I mean, they're super bad movies. It's like, I'm saying, going, all you have to do is just make a good movie and then bring him in to beat up people. Make a good movie and then have him beat up people in the good movie. Don't try to build a movie. We know he can fight in real life, but that doesn't necessarily mean,
that's not necessarily entertaining,
Listen, I'm going to be in, I'm the UFC World Heavyweight Champion, Francis Ngannou, and I'm going to also be in My Left Foot too. Because
My Left Foot of Fury.
Yeah, I kick
My
people.
left foot.
See, unlike Daniel Day-Lewis, I actually will be kicking people in real life. So I'm going to be in my left foot too.
Oh my God, I was totally imagined they would bring him out like a wheelchair, but and like someone tries to bully him like at the subway, but his one left foot is enough to just take all the people down.
I'm going to kill you all with my left foot. Everyone stand in a line. So this will be even more believable when I kick one of you and you fall down like dominoes.
With just like the twitch of his big toe. Boom.
Right. Somebody push my wheelbarrow around. It's like this guy again.
I don't. Is this? Do you? I mean, do you go to the movie theaters, or do you consume your movies on streaming services, or do you? Does anyone buy DVDs anymore? I mean, come on, nobody buys DVDs.
Before the pandemic, I went to the movies every week.
I love going to the movies. I get the popcorn. It's a big event. Even if the movie's kind of lousy, I kind of like it. But the world being what it is today, I find I watch most of my movies streaming at home, sadly.
Yeah, this will show you how much of a dope I was. I'm literally at a big screen TV to my right now, and I'm looking at this laptop. I literally was sitting there watching Ip Man on the laptop with the HDMI cable was literally hanging off the desk. And I'm like, what are you, an idiot? I just watched 20 minutes of this movie. I literally could just grab this thing, click, and it's on the screen. And I'm embarrassed to say, in fact, I'm editing that out. Because I can't believe it when I'm sitting here, I literally have a food in front of myself. I'm going, this is good. That's pretty good choreography. Wait a second. I could be watching it on that.
That's Donnie Yen, right?
Yes. Yeah,
you're a big martial arts fan, then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those are really just wonderfully shot movies. I don't know who the cinematographer of these films were, but he just like Jet Li's Fearless. It's really, really good cinematography. Really beautiful films. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Now, tell everybody where they can see you. Give all your information. I'm going to put it all in the notes anyway, but go ahead.
Well, we are the podcast that wouldn't die. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. You can also find us on social media. We're on Twitter at TPodcastTWDie. We're on Facebook at the podcast that wouldn't die. Erin, we're on Instagram.
We're on the Instagram, believe it or not, the podcast that wouldn't die. You can email us at the podcast that wouldn't die.
At Gmail.
And this is actually they were very, very nice to do my show where I can actually announce the new project that they're working on. It's called Kevin and Erin Love Chuck, where they literally are starting a Chuck Norris fan club. And
we have a brother-in-law who would be down for that.
Wait a second. Before I end this, first of all, I was joking with Kevin before I started recording that I wanted you guys to apologize for tricking me into watching Silent Rage again, because that was an hour and 40 minutes of my life I need back. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I can't believe you diss Walker Texas Rangers fans thinking that they're all a bunch of nutcases. How dare you? That's a fantastic show to watch on Saturday before 1:00.
That's what it was like. Seriously, it's the only show where it's like, hey, tune in every Saturday at 1:00. What? Live?
Yeah. Well, first of all, he's a fantastic singer. Do you see the brilliant singing that he did in the beginning of that? He's the only person worse than Lee Majors singing the theme song of The Fall Guy. Those are the two worst.
Oh my God!
I love The Fall Guy. By the way.
Yeah, I love that. I love the.
What are the openings? Wasn't there this thing in Palm Springs where they were having a fight on the tram? Isn't that when the opening sequence of The Fall Guy?
Yeah. I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but and then the train's going by, and
that's right.
But I've been seen with Farrah. I know all the lyrics.
Yeah.
His ex-wife, by the way, in real life.
Until Ryan came and took her away. Hey. And here's something. Because you guys made me, and this is your punishment, okay? And I need you to do this. I want you to go and find Lee Majors singing to Jamie Summers. He did a song inside of this TV show, The $6 Million Man, where he sang to Jamie Summers.
The Bionic Woman.
Literally, I'll put it to you this way. The plumber was just here at the house fixing my toilet.
Is that what the song's about?
No, there was a gurgling sound. There was a gurgling sound coming from the flange, right? I would rather listen to that while drinking the water from it than listen to Lee Major sing that song to Jackie Summers. That's how bad that song is. So for making me watch Silent Rage, you have to go and find it, and I need you to not only find it, listen to the entire song. That is your punishment for making me have to sit through Silent Rage, and I'm demanding it.
I should demand an apology because Kevin was the one who recommended this crap. Where's the apology?
Don't try to throw him under the bus. You went along with it. Last time I checked, there's 2 people on this show. You could have objected during. I listened to the episode. You could have objected and been disgusted by the fact that it came up, and it would just be him having to do penance. And by the time we go back and I have you guys on the show again, because I will, of course, I'm going to need you to know the lyrics and sing it to me. That way I'll know you found it.
We're pretty good with song lyrics. We watch a lot of television as children, and we can probably sing most of the songs.
I'll download the love songs by Lee Majors. I'll take care of it.
You know what the scariest thing is? While this is rendering, because I brought it up and it's in my mind, I'm actually going to go and listen to it again just because it's that bad. I'm going to laugh at it.
I thought you were loading it up. I thought we were going to have a karaoke sing-along.
Believe me, like the recorder I have here, I have the little buttons where you can play sound effects. Trust me, if I'd have thought about it, I'd have hit that button so fast. Because all I got is I got these little sound effects here. I can play those wacky sound effects. All right, my friends. I want to thank. It was a blast talking to both of you. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
The only downside, and like I said, the only downside was I had to sit through Silent Rage, and I don't know if I can forgive you for that.
Your rage is not so silent.
I had to apologize to a guy on Twitter because he just watched our other episode, The Happening. So I'm apologizing all day long. Good Lord.
Okay, I'm going to say, man, I got to tell you, I'm gonna need to drink some chamomile tea after this because I'm thinking I'm having Silent Rage flashbacks. Okay, guys, take care. Much love to you.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, take care.